Alfonso Escámez, and welcome to a new chapter of Indie Talks for Doble Firma. Watchmaking and motorsport have been always linked. In addition, it often happens for those like us who like watches and cars and vice versa. The next brand we are exploring today makes it very clear that both worlds are connected. Since its founder, who gives his name to the brand, was an endurance driver before creating his own brand. Today, we are talking about Laurent Ferrier, and we have with us Christian Ferrier, Laurent's son, who is the head of products of the brand. Welcome, Christian. A pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here in video with you today.
Great. Let's start with the interview. Just for those that may not know you, who is Christian Ferrier, and what are your duties within Laurent Ferrier watch brand?
As you said, I'm the son of Laurent Ferrier first. But before this adventure, I was studying in microtechnics. So it's the watch making industry too, microtechnics technology. But I was studying focus on this kind of study. And after study, my first experience was in the space industry.
Wow.
Switzerland, yes, near Geneva. But yes, only 4 years after that, I have chance to really work for the very first time in the watch industry at Roger Dubuis in the technical department to create different kind of movement. It was very, very interesting. And yes, again, 4 years later, we start this adventure with my father. So I'm very near on the watch industry during all my life. When I was young, I remember all the magazine at home, the watches, of course, because I have chance to see different beautiful watch after work, after my father works, and all the story of what's happened in my family, because I have a grandfather who was a watchmaker too. So
you have all your youth surrounded by cars and watches, right?
The cars, yes, exactly. In the same time, when I was young, I remember my father go for a few days or weeks and explain me he's a race driver. Yeah. It was a bit strange, but why not? And sometimes I had chance in France to follow, to go with my father, and have time, during some tests of different cars. But I was very young and not very interested by cars, but very interested by tires and wheels on the paddock. And yes, I think it was a bit, how do you say, hidden parts of the life of my father, because it was a bit dangerous to make race driver. So it was not, the main things we talk about at home, because in the past a lot of people, yes, have a bad crash on the track, and so. But
yeah, it was like when Jackie Stewart said that sex was safe and racing bloody dangerous.
Yes. I promise you, I never had the feeling about that when I was young, but it was the reality. So.
Yeah. Great. Do you remember your first watch when you were a kid?
My very first. Yes, I remember. Well, of course, it was a swatch, small swatch. Yes, with a lot of color. Well, I was very young. I don't remember exactly, but yes, I remember it was a very design and colored swatch. In the same time, I have changed at home to see the Nautilus because my father changed to wear Nautilus during his great part of his life to Patek Philippe. And of course, the Nautilus was very, very interesting, beautiful pieces. But in the past, I prefer my Swatch.
Tell us a little bit about your father's story and his relationship with the motorsport. How important is the figure of François Servarin, who is currently the president of the brand in the birth of Laurent Ferrier brand?
Again, the relationship with the motorsport of my father was in the same times, the watchmaking to Patek Philippe, and all the race, and yes, only 2 years we need to have full time of on motorsports, but it was only 2 years, and I don't remember these 2 years. We never at home or not often, but yes, my father is completely crazy about race driver, and I remember when I've changed to go inside the car, well, I was crying every time because he really don't play. He's a driver, and yes, this is in the same time, in the 24 hours of Le Mans, he met François Servanin, and François Servanin was very interesting this is an own maker, he make industry, especially on car or truck industry. But one day he has this idea to make a watch brand, and this is what he said to my father. Yes, one day maybe that will be a good idea to make your own brand, your own watch. And it was just for joking, but it's never an own maker never joke. He was very serious, and few years later, when because he really keep close relationship, and one day he proposed to make this idea, because it was not completely crazy. It was to make a small brand and see what's happened. No business plan. Just make a small brand with a creator and a watch, and see after what's happened.
We have to say that someone may not know it, but your father finishes third in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, just behind another well-known actor who was Paul Newman, right?
Yes, it was completely crazy, and I think this is how we explain the very beginning of the story of the Laurent Ferrier's brand, because to thanks François Servanin, because it was François Servanin who stayed the end of my father and said, yes, we have a Porsche for the 935 models was great.
Amazing car, yeah.
Yes, my father always explained that it was a fantastic, real pleasure to drive.
History of motor racing. Yeah.
And in this occasion, after the result, he offered Nautilus to François Servanin. And this is this year with François explained, yes, but that will be a good idea to make together a brand. You make the watch, and I'm in charge of the financial part, or the brand parts. And it was the real beginning of the story.
Thank you for giving me this Patek, but we could do it better, no? We could do a better brand.
No, an own maker has always the idea to make something new.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not very common. You are the third generation of watchmakers, but it's not quite often that your father, he was, I think, 63 when he created his own brand.
It was a bit crazy, but this is just because François Servanin very insists about this, that will be a good idea, and he was right. No, my father, yes, of course, 63 years old is a bit old to launch this kind of adventure, but you just need to imagine my father just the occasion to make this the watch of his dream. It's a fantastic occasion. You can't refuse that. And because I was here, he think about I'm here to follow, to follow the story. So this is because I was in the watch industry in the same time. My father said yes, we can do that. It's a bit crazy, but we can do that.
Okay, great. The brand was born in 2009, 15 years ago, and 1 year later, you won the Best Men's Watch at the GHPG with the classic tourbillon double spiral. That was such an early recognition from your peers, and it's not so common, no? The first year of a brand to win those prestigious awards. What did it mean to you?
It was completely crazy. Okay, the tourbillon, the classic tourbillon double spring was the watch of my father's dream, and I think when we launched it, a lot of collectors and people immediately understand the watch, and because of the past of my father, who's working for Patek Philippe, a very beautiful brand, and respect the code of the classic but beautiful timepieces. When we launched the classic tourbillon, a lot of people really easily understand the watch and what we appreciate, because it was a classic watch, was inspired by the pocket watch. It's so classic with end winding conception, with a long blade cliquet watchet, a tourbillon. In this time, the tourbillon, you can find tourbillon everywhere from every price. But a lot of people appreciate our version of the tourbillon, very technical, with double spring, for example, but very, pure line. So with respect all the code of the classic watch, beautiful watchmaking. And yes, a lot of collectors completely understand that. Was the purist, and the purist, have a close relationship between us and explain that. And I think it was a very fast communication because of the purists and collectors, and explain, yes, it's a crazy story. It's a crazy watch, a beautiful classic watch, and this is one collectors who explain, go to the GPHG, and we said, well, completely new, we are not ready. He said, no, I do it for you. This is the paper, you just need to, and after that explain the watch of all the jury, and yes, it was really, really crazy. We have the chance in the past to touch immediately important collectors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then, some years later, in 2015, the Watchmaking Revelation, 2018, Best Man Complication. What do you think? What is the meaning of those awards? It's a recognition from your peers, from your colleagues, or it gives you more pressure to keep on doing watches at that level?
No, never pressure. But and don't forget we have 4 prizes. Yes, because the last year we won the.
Oh yes,
the
true.
The tourbillon with the Grand Sport tourbillon for sure. We have in the collection. We are very proud of this. No, it's yes, of course, we really appreciate this to have those prize. To be honest, I don't. Yeah, that don't change nothing on the market. It's more important. This is not the main thing collectors will find on the watch when they fall in love for different watch. But of course, we are very proud. It's important. But the main important things, I think, it's for all the watchmaker, all the colleagues, because I have changed to travel, to meet a lot of people in Geneva or during my traveling. And I when I met these collectors with a large smile, was very happy and thankful about the watch. It's completely crazy, and this is a great motivation when you go to the office to continue to work with the same attention, with the same passion. So I have changed to meet a lot of great people, not only collectors, just people appreciate our work, our job. And it's very important, this kind of prize for all the colleagues, especially the watchmaker and the decorator, because they don't have the same change as me to have all the thankful of people.
Great. What kind of calibers do you use in your watches, or in-house?
Yes, because I'm a movement constructor, but I don't work alone in the past. So all the calibers are exclusive. But for example, in the past, when we launched from nothing, I have changed to work with 2 great men who are Enrico Barbazini and Michel Navas from La Fabrique du Temps. And he helped me just first to have a computer, an office and a computer. No, but it was friend of my father, and really helped me and my father, but especially me, to make a great tourbillon, because they have a lot of experience at tourbillon. And yes, he explained me many things. It was just fantastic moment together. But it was me who on the computer to develop it, exclusive for Laurent Ferrier. And a few years later, we just take a different way. But during all the beginning of the story, we work together on the but now we can explain this is an exclusive development. Sometimes with help, with collaboration, and sometimes alone. For the last caliber, I was completely alone. For the Sport Auto, the small Sport Auto, I was completely alone to develop it. I do my best, so it's not so bad. But to be honest, we are more strong. And the product is always better when you have people who's working on it. It's exclusive. And for the model, as you know, the tourbillon, the very first tourbillon, we are unwinding system. Really appreciate the contact with the watch when you wind it. So we have a tourbillon and winding, a small origin. Yes, this is unwinding system too, exactly as the same as the tourbillon. But we have micro rotor, the famous micro rotor with the natural escapement. Recently, the Sport Auto. This is a kind of micro rotor. This is the same DNA, the same architecture, but this is a completely different system. We use 4 hertz, 3 hertz. This is the main motors movement we have in the collection, and we have small complication, like a traveler, and the last one, the classic moon, annual calendar with a classic moon on the same days of the origin, classic winding system. This is actually the collection of Laurent Ferrier.
You are the head of products. How do you define, you have been talking about DNA, how do you define the brand DNA, and what do you consider sets you apart from the rest of the brands or independent brands?
Just recently, I don't be the head of product anymore. I changed. Oh yeah, I am the head of patrimony. It's exactly the head of brand patrimony. Yes, because I travel a lot.
Okay.
Playing all the watch.
Congratulations then.
Yes, no, it's great. No, but this is, yes, more high title about what I do actually. Because we have 2 people on the technical departments, 1 designer who's helping me and my father, so I can have time to travel and do the job in the same time because we continue to develop the future. And about the DNA, first things you see on the watch is very classic. Of course, the ends of in Laurent Ferrier have a strong DNA. It's very classic, and this is hard to explain why it's classic, but not only, but it's a part of DNA of Laurent Ferrier. It's classic, but with some, a real touch of design. My father is very, he really appreciates design things. And I think when he works on a classic, like the case, when he works on the case, he has an attention of like a designer, He think about how that's play with the light, the line. Just a line is very important. A bit like a car. It's the same, and he has something explain how a man works on the car by hand. In Italian industry. First Lamborghini, Alfa Romeo, Ferrari was made by hand, just to have a good line. It's a bit the same, just an attention to have a good line. Finally, it's for pleasure of your eyes. And yes, it's a part of DNA of Laurent Ferrier. At the same time, they respect classic codes. And about the movement, sometimes I explain, because I'm not really a watchmaker. A watchmaker really always really appreciates to see all the works he do. And I prefer to work on the design of the movement a bit like my father. So I just want to have a good effect on your eyes, and for that I do the same as my father. So I try to respect the balance, to have a good balance, not a focus on the main things, just a balance, and have confidence on your eyes. Sometimes you see something and you are not completely happy. You take time to change that and just have the result you want. So, but a good balance and very pure lines, good balance. This is the DNA, I think.
It's true that it's a classic, but when you turn around the watch and you see the quality and the finishing of the calibers, you may stay watching the calibers for hours and hours.
But it's easy to understand because you have a chance to make not a big production, it's a small production. When you make attention on some things, you make attention of everything, because it makes nonsense to have only the focus on the quality of, for example, the caliber, and not have the same on the case, ends, dials. So we have chance to go far on the quality, and sometimes we choose difficulties because it's not easy to do a classic case. This is not easy to make our ends. This is a choice, but finally the result is just this is what we really want to see.
Mm-hmm. You are the few brands that are using natural escapement on your watches, on your calibers. Are you planning to include the natural escapement in all your models? And can you make a brief, if you can explain us a little bit about what is the natural escapement and what is the difference if you compare it to another escapement?
So first, natural escapement is when we're talking about escapement, it's very complicated. This is not complicated when you use a classic Swiss level escapement, because we know the Swiss level escapement, but we don't have very technical information about natural escapement. It was thinking by Abraham Louis Breguet and other great watchmaker in the past. But actually, we are three, maybe four, to use a natural escapement. So it's a complication to play with a completely new escapement. So we are a bit limited. Hard to explain to everybody, but
okay, no problem.
Is a fantastic timepieces with many technical specification to explain. We work on it actually to are better to explain that, because it's very interesting to explain what why we choose to work on it, the differences between Swiss level escapement, the story of this escapement. It's very specific, and it's very technical, not so easy to work on it. This is why it's very limited in the production of Laurent. Actually, we do 100 more of natural escapement. To be honest, we don't want to grow up the natural escapement. Just keep very technical and pure timepieces in our collection. So we don't want to play and use it on different kind of complication. And a few words about the natural escapement. So thinking by Abraham Louis Breguet, we just the natural escapement. This is the double impulse, the direct double impulse on the balancer. Let's explain a bit what's happened and what's the difference with the Swiss level escapement. This is all about the impulsion on the balancer. In Swiss level escapement, this is the lever who's make the impulse, and the natural escapement is the wheels, the escapement wheels, who's make the impulse. And it's better because you, for the same result, finally you use wheels who have more power, because they are the contact with the gear train, with the mainspring. It's just better. And to explain that, this is exactly what we choose to use it. It's because my father want for these timepieces an automatic with a micro auto and with a good power reserve of 72 hours power reserve. And it's not so easy to do that.
Okay.
Impossible. This is why we choose to work on the natural escapement, because it's more efficient. This is just more efficient. We don't need to have a mainspring so strong to make the same job as the Swiss level escapement. And if the mainspring is less energy, as classic escapement, this is more easy for the micro rotor to wind it. This
Okay.
is just for that. This is because it's more efficient and it's very interesting to have a good power reserve with only a micro rotor.
Mm-hmm. Great. Can we talk a little bit about your different collections? Can you explain us the different design? And if you have to choose, I know that is very difficult, which one is your favorite?
No, it's not possible. No. All the collection start with the classic,
Mm-hmm.
the classic case. It was the main case, of course, in the collection, the mother of all the collection. And we find it on the tourbillon, of course, tourbillon de Racine, the small origin, and the micro rotor. After that, we work on the square case, with a cushion sheet.
Yeah.
And the story of this cushion sheet was just my father want to create something new because he really is so creative, and we have no need to launch a new case. This is just for the pleasure. One day he comes to me and explains, Wes, if you have time, just want to gather a cushion case, and this is what we just for playing. It was very interesting because it was my first case I draw on the software, and yes, we just drew it, and we think that's a very interesting case, and we just make a prototype. And when we make the prototype, we present to François, the president, because he decided if it's interesting to launch a new case about money, because in the past we don't have any money to do everything. But the cushion sheet, the square one, was born like this, just the for passion, because really want to create that. After that, we worked on the school case, actually removed from the collection, but this case will come again in the future. You will see. But yes, this is a very, very classic case too, but a bit like the case was using in the watch school during my father's study, and we use this case for especially for the complication. It was a very interesting case for all the complication. And the last collection, the last case models was the store. And the store was very interesting because a lot of people really wait for this kind of case category. And in Laurent Ferrier, it was a challenge. We always have the idea to have a metal bracelet on our case, like classic or square one. But my father explained people wear the watch, so that this is very important. If you think about a bracelet case or Superluminova hands, people really want to wear in every condition the watch. So it's very important if we do one day a sports watch with metal bracelet to have a movement dedicated to that and have a specific design. And so it was a challenge for Laurent Ferrier after many years of classic case and classic watches to explore the way of sports watch. And we're very happy because a lot of people agree with our design. It's always a round shape. It's always like a pebble. All the collection is very round case, round shape. And with our own design, because it's like an evolution of the square one. This is not a copy of Nautilus or Royal Oak. No, in Laurent Ferrier, this is very round shape. And so it was great to work on it. And my father explained me many things during we drew it, because on the computer it's completely different as the reality. And when you have chance to see the sports one, the store auto or the tourbillon grand sport in reality, or to wear it. Yes, it was very, very interesting because very difficult case and bracelets to do.
Great. We have just been talking just a little bit about your last model that you released in Watches and Wonders this year. I had the chance to see it in there at Watches and Wonders, the two finishings that you have presented. But maybe we can talk a little bit on the way that you are showing the moon phase.
Yes, the moon phase. We think about this annual calendar with moon phase a few years ago, and it was great to launch it this year because last years we really have a focus on the sports category with the tourbillon grand sports and the store auto, and yes, to go back to the main the classic watch, exactly like the tourbillon double string. The classic moon is on the classic case. It was great to work on this design because it's a complication, and the classic case, it's not easy to work on it when the thickness of the movement is bigger. And yes, the moon, we really appreciate the moon for the poetic and the poetic and design parts, especially for my father. Me, I really appreciate the moon for the technical parts. So we know a lot of people appreciate the moon. This is why it was a good idea to work on our annual calendar with the classic moon, and for it to always have this first look you have on the Laurent Ferrier. You see, okay, classic watch, but you need to take time and your eyes and to see and appreciate the details, because all is on the details. You see a beautiful watch, but you are not too much focused on the moon. This is just when you take time to and appreciate the small details. You can have completely it's a full Laurent Ferrier, and it's very classic. We appreciate this kind of watch.
And also that you are using crystal, no, to hide the moon in this this model.
We use this is very handmade,
it's Murano crystal, right?
This is enamel. This is the bridge is translucid enamel. Very thin. We play with thickness, and yes, we have stone, enamel, engraved painting by hand, for the details on the moon. This is all the focus, all this know-how of the people on the dial, have the many focus, but just on the small thing, on the small moon parts. It's very interesting.
Then will we see in the next future, in this year, for Geneva Watch Week or until the end of the year, more watches from Laurent Ferrier?
Well, we will see. We continue. We really want just to continue the same what we do, because we are not so bad. I think people appreciate, people agree, and people, collectors, really have confidence of what we are today. So it's just important to continue the same line. Don't change everything, of course. Just continue to make the beautiful watches like today.
Okay, great. How do you see the Spanish market, considering that you are with Rabat here in Madrid and in Barcelona, and do you know what are your main markets around the world?
Well, about Rabat, we always take time to work, to have partners who understand and sometimes appreciate the watch, of course. And I think it's exactly what's happened with Rabat. So we have just this is the good person to work together, because he really appreciates, understand the product, and of course this is so very easy to work with the good person like Rabat. I don't have the chance to go to Spain because it's in Madrid and Barcelona.
Yeah, you have to come. You have to come.
Yeah, of course, but it's very near.
Yeah. We're waiting for you.
Yes. Y puedo hablar un poquito en español.
Ah, perfecto. Muchas gracias.
A ver. No, this is, I think it takes time when you find the right person for the brand. It's very easy to work.
Yeah.
From long term and close relationship, confiance, like that. And all I heard about Rabat is perfect. So,
and about the more important markets, it's Asia.
We have an excellent balance, of course. United States is a big market because it's just one country.
Yeah.
Canada, and the neighborhood, but it's one country. Asia has different country, so it's a bit different. But US, Asia, big country, but Middle East and Europe are too, and we are all around the world. This is not so easy every day, but it's better like that, and it's very, very interesting because all the collectors, travel a lot, and collectors are from all around the world today, I think.
Yeah.
So we are everything. We don't have really a main market.
I don't like to talk about prices, but for our viewers and followers, what is the more or less the price range of your watches?
The first level, the first timepieces, the origin, the small origin, I really appreciate. If 33,000 Swiss francs, and yes, the tourbillon double spring, because we don't produce a lot, only 20 pieces a year. It's 180,000.
Then, Christian, my last question is always, if you were not wearing a Laurent Ferrier watch, which brand and model would you wear?
So this is not a pocket watch. I need to wear it.
Yeah.
I have a good example, a watch I really, really appreciate, and a lot of friends appreciate too. We are not collectors, but I think there's something. And I just here. It was a present from my father. It was his own watch during his race driver period. Because in the past, a lot of famous watches exist for the race driver, and it was. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Otavia.
Oh, great. Amazing watch.
And very easy to wear, actually, is timeless pieces. I really, really appreciate it. So, but it's an old pieces. You need to have common pieces who's producing today, or the year is a good answer, because I really appreciate this one.
Christian Ferrier, thank you for being with us. It has been a real pleasure. Give my best regard to your father.
Yes, I promise you.
And hope to see you soon in Madrid. Thank you for your presence here in the talks for Doble Firma.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.